Today on the Expect Miracles podcast, we have a very special guest, Dr. Anna Cabecca. Dr. Cabecca is an internationally acclaimed menopause and sexual health expert, global speaker, and pioneering promoting of women's health. She is Emory University trained and triple board certified in gynecology and obstetrics, integrative medicine, and anti-aging and regenerative medicine. She is the author of the best-selling book, The Hormone Fix, a diet and holistic lifestyle program for menopausal women, and the new release with the foreword written by Dr. David Perlmutter. She also has a new book coming out, Keto-Green 16, designed for improving energy, hormones, and weight loss. Please welcome Dr. Anna Cabecca.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's an honor to have you on the show. It looks like you are doing incredible work with your last book, and you have a new book coming out, correct?
Yes, yeah. So The Hormone Fix has been a USA Today bestseller, and it's been #1 in menopause for now 14 months on Amazon. So excited about that. And Keto-Green 16 comes out May 5th, but available for pre-order, and is a 16-day plan with really great biohacks to really definitely target transitional challenges, hormonal challenges, from ages 40 and up, where we have stubborn weight loss, brain fog, mood issues, to really
Beautiful.
conquer that quickly.
Absolutely. There are so many people suffering with a lot of the things you just mentioned, so I think it will be very beneficial for everybody listening. And Dr. Cabecca, before we jump into that, where are you from and how did you get into the healthcare profession?
Yeah, well, I actually have been here. I live on St. Simon's Island, Georgia. So that's
Oh,
where I'm
beautiful.
calling in from today. It's actually a cold day here. And it's we're in the southern coast of Georgia below Savannah. I've been here since I trained at Emory University in gynecology obstetrics in 1999. So, I finished at Emory in Atlanta and moved here. And I've been here all along, but I grew up in Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania originally.
Nice.
And I've always had a love for medicine, knew I wanted to be a doctor at a young age, and saw my mom suffering with the medical, with chronic medical conditions that now I know I could have reversed, over and over and over again. And so part of my journey has been that, recognizing at the time my mom passed away at the young age of 67. She was on 11 medications and, just had, many years of struggling. And so, and I've seen that over and over again. I would like to say, oh gosh, since that was over 22 years ago, that we've come a long way in our management of medicine. We really haven't. And so here I am, board certified in gynecology and obstetrics, trained at Emory University, one of the best universities, and, really hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, in education and not to mention key years of life, just to say, what, it takes more than hormones to fix our hormones. There's diet and lifestyle management that just, really can turn the needle in our health and up-level our health. And just to reclaim, really what I'm begging people to do is reclaim the power over their own bodies. And with the right information that works, and how to figure out it's working for you or it's not.
Absolutely. So it sounds you do a very holistic approach.
Yes, absolutely.
And how did you find holistic medicine that actually, a lot of people say that, oh, I've tried holistic and it really doesn't work. What avenue do you like to go down with some of your patients?
Well, definitely I'm more functionally medicine trained. So after Emory and OBGYN and part of my own journey, I went on to board certify in integrative medicine and anti-aging and regenerative medicine, and just continue learning functional medicine and understanding the why. I'm a scientist at heart. And so, understanding biochemistry and physiology is just a passion for me, because I struggled. At age 39, I was diagnosed with early menopause and infertility, post-traumatically, and I was told I would never be able to have another child. My only chance would be egg donation, possibly, and I had failed the highest doses of injectable meds. Now, remember, this is coming from a gynecologist trained at one of the best institutions in the nation, And that's it, right? That's a death
Yeah.
sentence right
Yeah.
there for
Yeah.
you, right? When we say early menopause, we're not like, oh, just do this and you'll hormones will be back in balance. And that's what I say now, but I didn't know this then. And so literally I went on a journey around the world looking for answers and finding natural remedies that I, have used to create natural products that really, really are effective and work quickly because we're balancing the body's natural energy systems and our hormones and giving our body what we need. But it's again, it's more than a pill, a patch or a potion, right? It's
Absolutely.
a lot
Yeah.
more than that. There's many aspects that come into play, and that's where what I teach in the hormone fix really comes to fruition. Is there toxins, like we can be eating right and exercising perfectly, but we're living in mold toxins or
Mm.
we're in a toxic environment. And so these challenges can really affect our thyroid, our hormone, our body chemistry, and suck the joy out of our lives. And that's where we've got to draw the line.
Absolutely. And it sounds like one of the main areas you start with is the diet. A lot of information on the keto diet, keto greens, and ketones versus glucose. Can you touch on that and what that means for people?
Yes, yeah. So again, I've learned this through my own journey is that, as I said, I was diagnosed at 39 with early menopause and infertility. And I went on to reverse that for a decade. I had a baby at age 41, the
Wow.
child I was told I would never be able to have, right? And then at age 48, so nearly a decade later, I was starting to have those same menopausal symptoms again. No more period, and then the brain fog, memory loss, mood swings. And so that took me into this keto world, but knowing that with women, there's a right way to do keto and there's a wrong way to do keto. With men too, but look, women, we're more fragile. Men have 10 times as much testosterone. There's a protective balance right there, right?
Hmm.
But women, we don't. And in this menopausal transition, when we're losing progesterone and estrogen levels are dropping, guess what? I mean, we can't use glucose for fuel as readily as we can use ketones because gluconeogenesis in the brain, or use of glucose for fuel in the brain, is an estrogen dependent phenomenon. So as
Yes.
our hormones drop and dive, our brain's basically starving, and then we're having anxiety, depression, irritability, mood swings, and difficulty sleeping, all these neurologic, I call them neuroendocrine symptoms. And, there's something that we can absolutely do about it because we don't have to suffer through this.
And what for the audience listening, what exactly is a ketone and how does it help rebalance the body?
Yeah. So ketones are basically molecules of fat energy. Let's call it fat energy. So we either use their, energetic molecule like glucose is, ketones are, but glucose is to gasoline as ketones are to jet fuel.
Hmm.
Right. So we can think of that. When we get fuel from fat, it's over 2 times as powerful as fuel from carbohydrate.
Sorry, I think my computer froze up on you. Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Perfect. And so you said there's a right way to do the keto diet and then there's a wrong way. How do you recommend people start? And how do you feel about the meat aspect of it?
That's a good question. So what I learned is that when I went straight keto and I wasn't paying any attention to my alkalinity,
Hmm.
then I got, people talk about keto flu, which is certainly a detox reaction. You have that keto flu, but keto crazy is what I was experiencing, right?
Mm.
And there I was, single mom, taking care of teenagers. And, that is not, you have to be calm. You have to experience the peace that surpasses all understanding at
Hmm.
at that stage of their lives for sure, and for my own sanity. So I recognized very quickly that it absolutely matters what we eat, whether we're in ketosis or not, but what else is going on. And long term, this acidotic state cannot be good for us, and we're missing key minerals and nutrients in our body. So I started checking my urine pH, like we tell all our patients to do. Check your urine pH. want that urine pH, want you to wake up with a urine pH of 7, and I actually created these urine pH and ketone test pads so you can look and see you're in ketosis and your urine pH is more on the alkaline side, and something that I recognized. And so first of all, in order to get me there, when I started checking, I was as acidic as the paper would read.
Really? And you were
Totally
following
acidic.
the keto diet?
I was following the keto diet. And, I've been a functional medicine doctor. So I know that, I used to have very alkaline urine pH, right?
Mhm.
But now going to more of the animal fats and meats and increased fats in my diet, that put me into more of more of acidic, which can be inflammatory. And I certainly
Mhm.
was feeling inflamed. I was feeling
Mhm.
irritable. I was feeling inflamed. I'm like, I don't get this keto. I'm not getting keto clarity and what's going on. So urine pH was really acidic. So I started adding the collards. I'm here in the South, right?
Mhm.
Collard greens, chard, Swiss chard, kale, dark leafy greens, and then cruciferous vegetables to help with gut microbiome and estrogen detoxification. And then I got my urine pH up. But what I noticed was that the mornings I would walk on the beach or do my prayer meditation in the morning, that I would be more alkaline all day.
Mm.
And this, I was like, well, what's going on here, right? Well, we know cortisol affects our physiology and will create more acidic urinary pH, which was so cool because now I'm managing my stress. I'm recognizing, gosh, I've got to start the day in gratitude and prayer, or when I can get out and
Mm.
walk and start do these quality of life de-stressors to improve my cortisol, because I had PTSD, full-blown PTSD at this time. I
Mhm.
write more about my story in the book with details, but it's just that just was certainly pulling on me. So between the lifestyle and highly balanced nutrition, I went from this brain fog. I had gained 20 pounds and like overnight. And I was able to take that weight off in 6 weeks and also get this keto alkaline, Keto-Green. And it just felt I had better clarity, better cognition. I was experiencing the peace. I was calmer. My
Mm.
children are like, Mom, you're just so much happier, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was true. It was just reduce the inflammation, chose better healthy proteins and fats. So to give you an idea of a Keto-Green meal, think of 75%, 3/4 of your plate with dark leafy greens, and a palm size free range grass fed beef or free range chicken or a piece of fish, something like that. You can also do it as a vegan vegetarian. I give options for that. And drizzled with olive oil and some sesame seeds or nuts on it. So I give these really balancing recipes in my book because it does make a difference. So this
Mhm.
is healthy fats, which we need for hormone balance, right?
Absolutely.
And healthy, good quality protein, but plus enough alkalinizers and fiber to also keep us from getting hungry and have improve the health of our microbiome or gut, so that we have higher levels of serotonin and can actually feel the increased joy and happiness that we should be feeling.
Absolutely. And you said something very interesting before. Do you think that the morning meditation was actually changing the physiology of your body?
Absolutely. I think definitely bringing cortisol under control.
Because
For
I feel
sure.
like, yeah,
Absolutely.
because I feel like that could be a lot of people can implement that in their daily routine, because some people don't even think about it. It definitely does bring clarity, brings down stress levels, and it does decrease inflammation. And when people think meditation, they think crossing their arms and their legs and sitting fully zen, and it can be a walk on the beach. It
Mhm.
can be just de-stressing, and 10 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning could definitely change that.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I always like to do a reflection, a time of reflection. And so I usually ask three simple questions like, where did I see love? I would say, where did I see love yesterday?
Mm,
Where was I loving? And how could I have laughed at myself more?
absolutely.
And those three things really help my physiology.
And so I have another question. I have a lot of patients that come into my practice, especially women with thyroid issues, infertility issues, and other hormonal imbalances. And they're kind of at a loss for what to do. And so, how is it specific treatment for each thyroid condition, menopausal, other illnesses, or is it pretty general that if you just keep a nice fluid diet that you'll see all those things decrease?
Well, it's diet and lifestyle. So,
Hmm.
like, as I, write to in Keto-Green 16, really quick hacks make a big difference. And what we're doing, here I am, a gynecologist. I spent years studying the reproductive hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. I really wanted them to be the most important hormones in a woman's body, right?
Hmm.
And in fact, they're not. It's really insulin, cortisol, and oxytocin.
Mm.
And I write about this in my books. And it's so important to understand because where thyroid kicks our butt is also when cortisol attacks the thyroid, chronic, daily, everyday stress. And we're not even checking, right? We're never, how are we monitoring that? Get a blood test for cortisol? Of course, it's going to be,
Yeah.
abnormal
Yeah.
or high. You
Yeah.
just took a needle at me with a shaky hand, right?
Mhm.
So, we think about these things and we really need to understand how important this is. And the ketosis, so the alkaline part or the green part of my keto green plan addresses cortisol through nutrition and lifestyle. And then the keto part also through nutrition and lifestyle, intermittent fasting, no
Mm.
more snacking, these things creates insulin sensitivity in our very insulin resistant. I mean, just as we age, we become more insulin resistant. So while all our reproductive hormones are going down, cortisol and insulin are going up, right? And
Mm.
they're working against us, aging us. So as we become more insulin sensitive, then we have more energy and our thyroid is improved as well as our other hormones, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the birth control pill and the hormones that go into how it's affecting the woman's body? Because there are so many women on birth control, and I'm not sure if they realize what it's actually doing to their hormones.
Yeah, and I think we know now more and more we know, that, hormone birth control pills are anti-hormones, right?
Mm.
So they really work against our body. Now, sometimes they're necessary. I want to
Mm.
say a necessary evil because they can be a godsend for some of us, right?
Mm.
That they're necessary for a time. We want to do it for the right reason for birth control and for the amount of time that we need, but look at other options like the non-hormonal IUD. It's easy, safe, effective. If we're having sex other than we need to be using other protection or condoms and really consideration or care other than with our spouse. So I think it's important to understand that birth controls can work against us and even create some gluten sensitivity according to some of the recent research, which is again one of the reasons why keto green is like we break up with sugar and grain. And I tell clients because they know like sugar and grain is like that bad boyfriend, that toxic relationship that keeps
Mhm.
trying to creep back into your life, whittle its way back in, coax you, praise you, tease you right into loving it again. And it is, we have to break up with it for good.
Absolutely. And so, and one of your health points, you mentioned it takes more than hormones to fix your hormones. So, a lot of women will say, "Oh, I'm already counteracting. I'm already taking more of this hormone to balance out the body." Is that enough? What else can they be doing? Is that a good thing to be taking those hormones to bring up those levels that are deficient?
Yeah. And this is where it gets some controversial because I'm going to say this, it depends. Right. It depends because sometimes we absolutely need it because our body is just not making it right now. And other times, we can coax our body into protect our breast. So sometimes we need these additional hormones.
Mm.
S- I think the biggest thing to understand is we don't want to start hormones early if unnecessary because we're going to negatively feedback and suppress our own natural hormonal production.
Definitely. This is just a question on my part as far as women with breast cancer. Um, if you catch it early enough, is there anything diet implementation or supplement implementation that you recommend that could really help stop it from spreading and just get on the right track?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, go Keto-Green, number
Mm,
one. So we want to create insulin sensitivity and drop down that cortisol, create an alkaline environment that's really inhospitable to cancer cells. So number one, go Keto-Green. And that's where I look where to start. In my books, I talk about detoxing, right? We
mm,
have to detox to improve our liver, improve our gut, and create a higher state of nutritional balance. Because if there's unhealthy cellular communication, it's not going to turn
mm,
off the cancerous cell. And that's what often
absolutely.
happens. We have to increase healthy cellular communication. So at the cellular level, comes in, the third hormone that I always talk about as our crowning hormone, oxytocin. So good communication, healthy communication, get happy, have fun, do things that please you, create more oxytocin in your life, and that helps. Now, supplement wise, I used in all my patients my Mighty Maca Plus, my product that's adrenal adaptogenic, detoxifying, and alkalinizing to give our body that extra support. And the second thing I used is sulforaphane glucosinolates, which are SGS, from like broccoli extract, a powerful detoxifier.
Mm,
And I also used methylated folate. And I did this in all my breast cancer or precancerous conditions or abnormal mammos. Or abnormal thermography. I did this plus adding a gamma linoleic acid. So, or krill,
mm.
GLA, excuse me, GLA from blackcurrant oil or evening primrose oil, and or krill. And so those three additional supplements, or four altogether with Mighty Maca, those four key supplements, my patients came back without
Mm,
needing breast surgery, biopsy,
really?
mammograms came back negative. Now, not for everyone, but I even had a client who had a history of Hodgkin's lymphoma. She had abnormal array, 5 focal lesions, and biopsied, and was a in breast cancer, invasive cancer. I put her on my regimen because she was going for mastectomy. I put her on my regimen. She had her mastectomy in a month. They did not find any breast cancer.
Wow.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of people want this quick fix, take one pill and it goes away. How long do you recommend people really stick with it to feel the full effects? Because it can be discouraged. It's not going to happen overnight. You definitely have to stick with it, and just a good time frame so people don't lose hope, because
Yeah.
it's you've been like that for so long. It's going to take some time for the body to turn over another leaf there.
Yes, and that's absolutely true. And I get diet fatigue, right? I get
Mm,
restriction fatigue. I mean, I get that stuff. And so it's like a muscle, like going to the gym. I always say, you're going to exercise hard right off the bat, but you got to maintain it, right?
absolutely.
And so with Keto-Green, that's the whole purpose of Keto-Green 16. 16 days is a good amount of time to develop some really good habit and feel those results really quickly. And then have a couple feast days that are, again, healthier and healthier as you learn, as you kind of break up with the bad guys, right?
Yep.
Just break up with the bad guys, get them out of your life, to the best of your ability. Just make that shift, and you'll start to feel what quality of life. Like, here I am at 53 with an 11-year-old. I've got it. Hormone balance is really critically important to me. But at 48, when I was really struggling, brain fog, fatigue, weight gain, all this. I mean, I couldn't imagine writing a book, let alone,
Mm,
speaking around the world, because I just didn't have the capacity. So you have to recognize, but very quickly, within weeks, I really felt a significant improvement, to the point I had so much energy. I just created an online program, started writing books,
amazing. Yeah.
I mean, and everyone can feel the same. But the biggest thing is we recognize that it starts with us, because especially working with women, and Kevin, this, and our page, our patients come in and they're worried about their husbands, they're worried about their
Yeah.
children, right? And like, well, I guarantee you, worry about that creates, just this beautiful energy that creates, this higher vibration helps them. helps them, creates a quality of life that feels better. One of my clients put it really well. She said to me, she said, Dr. Anna, when I started this program, I go from work to home. I was on the couch, cuddled up. I didn't even socialize with my family. And she goes, now it's like I'm out riding my horse. And not only do I like my family better, but they like me better too. They're
Yeah,
engaging. We're engaged. We're doing family activities again. We haven't done that in 10 years.
absolutely.
That's the difference.
Yes. And a lot of people don't realize that if one family member is having all these health issues, it's infecting the entire family, not just that person. So to get that person their life back is just it's important for the whole family's well-being. And it's beautiful to see when that person does get their health back.
Yeah. And the changes I ask women to make, the changes I ask men to make are changes that are good for the whole family.
Absolutely. Now, another point I wanted to touch on is this comes up in almost all the practitioners I've been talking to on this podcast, the gut biome and how to feed that the right way. And you also mentioned the brain. So, what is the best way to feed your brain and your gut?
So, Keto-Green. So, it really
Mm,
does come back to this Keto-Green approach: healthy fats, healthy protein, and periods of fasting.
mm,
Periods of fasting. To get us into the state of ketosis, to get us in the state of autophagy, and to help our microbiome as well. And so, where we add in the alkalinizers, the greens, the fiber, that all helps with the diversity. We know that plant-based diet, a diverse diet, increases the microbial diversity, which is associated with longevity and health and quality of life. It's a recent tribal discovery looked at the stool samples of this isolated tribe in South America and found they had no chronic illness, no
mm,
diseases of chronic illness or degeneration like we do, the cardiovascular disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's. They weren't experiencing that. And on stool analysis, their microbiome was the most diverse that we've seen. And this is really important to remember. So certainly with the nutrients, but also this is where supplementation with probiotics come in too, because we need to create a healthy microbial diversity. And if we've eaten out once, chicken, for instance, that's been given antibiotics, we're
yeah.
ingesting those antibiotics. If we're
Yep.
out at a restaurant eating farm raised fish, we're ingesting those antibiotics. And I never thought it was really significant, Kevin, until I had a patient come to me, and he said, he was a male patient, and he had come to me. He said, he went out to dinner just the night before his visit, and he had ordered fish and asked if it was wild caught, and the server had said yes, not
Mm,
thinking anything about it. He ate it. He immediately had a anaphylactic reaction because he has
mm,
a penicillin allergy.
wow.
I mean, that just blew my mind when I'd heard that. I'm like, wow, that's really significant. We are what we ate or was injected with.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, what is it that they attributed? What was that tribe mostly eating that they studied?
Yeah, just wild, there's wild game,
Mm,
plants, the complete variety of plants.
okay. And Dr. Anna, what are some of the your books are very geared towards women, but it sounds like you do have some male patients. What do they come see you for?
Well, definitely, I've always seen clients when working with women, especially in sexual health, I always treat the patient as a couple.
Mm,
And so by
yeah.
popular demand for Keto-Green 16, there's a whole men's chapter, and really men can do the same dietary program. They get, men get faster results than women, right?
Mm,
And, again, hormonally, um, that's part of it. Men see black and white versus all the shades
mm,
of gray that we tend to see. And so that makes a difference. But certainly for sexual health and hormone optimization is where I would see men. And so when I would have a male patient come in and we determined, underlying issues going on, and maybe there's low testosterone for sex drive. So not just addressing low testosterone with testosterone, but getting his body back into balance to produce his own testosterone again.
mm,
And that being that's the first step.
Hmm.
And that's where it can really help patients. So through supplementation, like for example, again, get Keto-Green, get rid of the sugar, get rid of the grains. They are affecting your hormones for sure.
Hmm.
And is there anything else that could be affecting your hormones, like mercury amalgams or other toxins? And then use testicular function as well as right erectile function. That's how
Mm.
Viagra works. So there's that. And Mighty Maca Plus, which has maca, which is adaptogenic and has been shown to help with sexual function. In Peru they call maca the Peruvian Viagra.
Mm.
Well, maca is also rich in arginine, and so again supporting nitric oxide, which again is how Viagra works. And so then the adaptogenic, detoxifying, and anti-inflammatory benefits of a comprehensive approach improves blood flow, circulation to everything, right? To everything. So we'll typically see an improvement in testosterone. And then adding nutrients if needed, looking at red blood cell zinc, improving zinc, and encouraging, high intensity interval training, and
Mm.
getting a good night's sleep and
Yeah.
decrease stress, which is bleeding out our hormones. Again, when we're men and women, when we're under chronic everyday stress, have had post-traumatic stress, and or there's physical stress, we're going to make more cortisol.
Yes.
Well, at the sacrifice of testosterone and estrogen. So if we're just supplementing with these reproductive hormones, we're never addressing the underlying problem, and we're not serving the patient. We're actually hurting them potentially because we're interfering with their body's own natural production.
Absolutely. And I think one of the main issues that a lot of Americans are dealing with that you would see a lot of health issues resolve is sleep. It's detrimental to our health when we don't get enough. If a lot of people would get that 7 hours, I think a lot of health issues would disappear. But it's just something that, especially in America, we sacrifice it. We're grinding. We think we'll make up for it, and it's just you see a lot of the neurodegeneration diseases happen, and just memory, cognitive function, inflammation. That's just one easy thing people can do.
Yes, yeah. And they say why sex is like sleep
No.
because everyone's talking about it and no one's getting enough of it.
That's funny. I like that. Oh man. Um, Okay, there was one other question I had. Oh yeah, so you were talking about life hacks before, and I wanted to let you finish your thought. But what are some life hacks that are in the book that could really help people get going?
Definitely the 16-hour intermittent fasting with
Mm.
Keto-Green 16 really encourage you. And I know some people will say, look, I can't fast. I get low blood sugar. I promise you, you can. You are designed to fast. And
Right.
I help you do that in the book. And so 16-hour intermittent fasting, that is key to create insulin sensitivity. The other thing is just, the high intensity interval training. So I
Mm.
put a quick 16-minute exercise program that anyone can do anywhere, right? It's my workout when I'm in the hotel room.
Hmm.
16 minutes, I can do it as much as I don't want to sometimes. It can do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's a huge hack to make a difference. But the other real hack is that, honestly, that self-care is selfless.
Mm.
Self-care is necessary.
Mm.
And we have to remember that. I have a couple friends right now in the same situation, and both of them are struggling with their young adult daughters. Their young adult daughters in their 20s having like this identity crisis with school and feeling burnout at this young age. And I asked my friend, and I said, what example have you given her of self-care?
Mm.
And this is something I've been trying to get this friend to do, take some time for herself, and it's hard when we have families, we're running businesses, we're mom, wife, business owner, and I get it, believe me, I get it. But will it take a breakdown for us
Mm.
to get better? Will it take a cancer diagnosis for us to
Right.
realize where, we need that time?
Hmm.
And so we're not machines.
Yep.
Is, what what will it take? And so for me, that was really seeing this now. It's like self-care is like the example I can give to my children, my employees, what we can do to have fun and have faith and, have free time. That's really fun, faith, and free time. I would say that's a huge hack.
Absolutely. I mean, I even notice in my own personal life when I do take that 10-minute meditation to start my days go so much better than when I just get up, wing it, go right to work. It's night and day difference how my day goes.
Hmm. I agree. It's interesting. You've seen these freestyle libres. Have you seen the freestyle libre?
No.
It is a 24-hour, I'm writing down fun, faith, and free time. I'm going to put that on my wall to remind myself. Um, but Freestyle Libre is a device that goes in your arm to measure 24/7, blood sugar
Mm,
for 14 days, and it's really great. I recommend you get it and put it on,
mhm.
so that as well as checking your urine pH for urine pH and ketones. But get this blood sugar monitor. I've done it because I checked all the recipes in my book to make sure I don't get any
Mm.
spikes in blood
Yeah,
sugar. That really are balanced, so we're not getting these peaks and flows. Peaks and valleys and are like making us crazier, right? That the standard American diet does to us. So as I was wearing this, a couple things I noticed was the mornings I like hit the ground running out the door, cup of coffee, late to get everyone to school or what the situation was. My blood sugar was up, even though I was
Mm.
fasting still. Like it was
Wow.
20, 30, 40 points. But the mornings I started my day with this meditation and then, got up, ran around and did everything, blood sugar stayed stable.
That's very interesting.
Caffeine, even though technically coffee doesn't break a fast, if you're like me and your blood sugar spikes with a bit of coffee, then that's not going to start your day off to really good physiology,
Mhm.
right? When we want those spikes when we need them, probably need them more at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon than we do
Yeah,
at 8 or 9 or 10 a.m.
yeah. With some of your patient or with all of your patients, do you take a comprehensive blood panel or is that or do you with everybody right from the get-go or is that something you implement later?
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely, when patients would come in to see me, I would give them this comprehensive blood work. And I also itemize them in my books, in both the Hormone Fix and Keto-Green 16. And in certainly in more detail. But like the key thing is look at now I say if there's just 4 tests that I want everyone to know about themselves, it's the hemoglobin A1C to look at our
Mm,
blood sugar control over time. It's our inflammatory marker, the HSCRP, and it's our adrenal status, DHEAS, in the blood. We're looking at DHEA sulfate. And then the fourth is your vitamin D25 hydroxy.
mm,
And like check those every 3 to 6 months. And we can self-order these tests now.
mm,
And I give, like I tell clients to monitor this because we want to see those numbers improve over time.
definitely.
And if they're improving, our quality of our health is improving. And I like to see what gets measured gets managed, right? Then I can
Mm.
say, okay, maybe I'm experiencing a little restriction fatigue, but it's like, it's working. It's working.
Absolutely.
I'll take a day off
Absolutely.
and I'm right back on.
Yes. And a lot of the functional medicine practitioners, do you need to see all your patients in office or do you do Skype sessions right from the start for people that can't make it to your office
Yeah. So
or
I
that
do,
live far away?
yeah, I do online programs. So my programs are all online, virtual through my website, my Magic Menopause program that I help women, I've had them from age 33 through 78. So
Mm,
doing this program because I do it in groups, I find creating this group community is very, very beneficial. So where I don't see clients in my clinic right now, I consult with physicians and I do group programs.
beautiful.
Mhm.
And Dr. Anna, where can people find you online, social media, all your platforms?
Yeah, so easy to find me at my website, dranna.com. So dranna, ANNA.com, dranna.com. And also, you'll find the links for my books and a lot of bonuses to go with pre-ordering my book. So excited to give that to your audience. And definitely Instagram and Facebook It's
Mm.
a fun place for me to show up doing some stories and some lives and interactive. So at Dr. Anna Cabecca on Instagram and at Dr. Anna C on Facebook.
Beautiful. And Dr. Anna, at the end of every show, I'd like to ask all my guests, what is one piece of advice that you've gotten over your years that has really resonated with you that you would like to gift the audience? Could be absolutely anything.
I think this one is a great piece of advice. And I got this from a urology professor in medical school. And he said, Anna, you're the only one who can upset yourself. And I said, oh no, my boyfriend can really piss me off. And he said, no, you choose how to react. So that is like, look, I am the only one who can upset myself. I have said that to myself over and over and over again throughout the years.
That's important to know. Absolutely. Dr. Anna, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited for the new book to come out and would love to have you back on the show anytime to, if you have a new book or any other topics you would like to talk about.
Thank you. This has been fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.